think we see Willis coming out.
Anthony for three. Bang! Slicing, dicing right there. Swooping, hooping.
Houston ducks under. Got it!
Jeremy Lin does it again.
Johnson now fires a three. It is good! And he's fouled!
7 feet from Georgetown. Number 33. Your captain.
This is Bockers Beat with Jeff Haber.
And now, please welcome your New York Knicks.
It's Bockers Beat. What's up? My name is Jeff, and 2 tough, heartbreaking losses. Those ones hurt. But we also had a historical first game of the year. So we're going to get into all of it, but first, we are on Twitter, at Bockers Beat. We're also on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spreaker, so however you're listening to us, at Bockers Beat. Thank you so much. And Twitter is kind of like the hub for all this, so make sure you follow us because we'll be live tweeting games, not just myself, but future guests will be live tweeting games. And we'll post some clips of the show throughout the week. So follow us on Twitter, at Bockers Beat. So excited to have one of my favorite people in the universe as our guest this week, Darina Parker.
It's so weird to hear my whole name. I feel like I'm in trouble.
It's like your mom's disappointed in you. But no, we're super excited to have you on because you got to work for the Knicks. But before we do, we're going to back up a little more because you played college D1 ball. Where'd you play?
Yeah, I balled at Michigan State. Actually, I balled at the CC first and then walked on to Michigan State to a full ride scholarship.
Wow. And you weren't just like a scrub 12th man. Like you played actual minutes. Like you put up buckets.
Yeah, I was trying. It was a different level, but I was a big person, so it was kind of easy for me in the sense of that. And plus, I have no awareness of other people around me, so I was just out there playing my own game.
Right.
So I was just out there playing my own game.
Now, I remember you telling me, didn't you make it to the Final Four one year? I mean, Michigan State was always a good team.
We made it to the championship. We lost to Baylor.
Oh.
That's okay. That doesn't hurt.
That must have been a crazy experience. What did you do after school?
Cry? No. I went to New York, basically. I went out there to write, to become a writer. And
Okay.
I ended up falling back into the world of basketball because once you're in basketball, you're in basketball.
Right.
And once I got back into the world of basketball, I kind of fell into the word, got into within the Knicks somehow. I just met the right people.
What did you do for the Knicks?
So this was back they had that good team, and this was social media was just booming. So while it started as more of an audience kind of engagement position where I would get fans and stuff, it became more of a social media focused way to get out the word to really pump up the Knicks and help the team. So it became more setting up veteran viewing parties, social media Twitter was huge. So we were doing Twitter contests. We were hanging out with the team, kind of getting those little videos that you would throw up on Facebook or whatever. And then, just really
Cool.
hanging out with them.
And what season was this?
So I was with them 2012 to 2013.
Right. So this is post Linsanity when the Knicks made it to conference semis, right?
Yeah.
So this is why it excites me because this is one of my favorite teams. It was the Knicks team with Melo and J.R. Smith and Ray Felton, and then also Jason Kidd and Kurt Thomas and Marcus Camby, and I loved that team.
I love that. I love that team too, especially since the juxtaposition of the team now.
Right.
Whereas all those guys are experienced, and now our team is just a bunch of noobs kicking around.
But yeah, and let's talk about that because the Knicks team, the youngest team in the NBA, is playing. I want to say they're playing incredible. What's your kind of thoughts? And we'll start with Fitzdale. Are you on the Fitzdale train? Do you like him? And are you all about him?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like him as a New York guy. To me, he just doesn't have the necessary presence But the team is so young, so it's different in that sense. Like, it might be okay for this team, but I don't feel like you're going to have the gumption to, like, go out there and, like, be like, okay, guys, we need to destroy, like, these players. But I feel like he's more, kind of soft, like, all right, I understand what you're doing. It's kind of more of an understander than a pusher.
I see that. I see where you're going with that, especially when you hear him in the press conference and he says things like, every close game is a learning experience. It's like, well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Here's my thing about Fitz, and I think he's fantastic for the team. I think the fact that everybody loves him, like you see him joking around with like Cantor in Game 1 against the Hawks, and they're just like messing around. It just seems like everybody likes him. He has everybody playing hard. My only thing is like the game against the Nets, right? We lose on the Levert shot. But who's guarding him? It's Tim Hardaway. Why isn't Frank guarding him? He's our best defender. Karras is gonna take that game-winning shot. He's gonna go ISO.
He's kind of like, he's like, he's catering to the player. Like, you can't really cater to the player. You got to cater to the game.
Right.
And it's just something I feel like is an oversight a little bit. Where everyone's gonna get a chance. But sorry, not everyone gets a chance. It's more about who's gonna do what's necessary in the moment.
And in that moment, our center was Kevin Knox, who almost blocked the shot. So close. But that's a situation we need Mitchell Robinson out there. And the fact that he didn't get any minutes that game, he's playing Noah Vonleh, who granted has been playing good, but we need a shot blocker out there, a rim protector. Man, throw out Robinson. Give him some minutes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Robinson needs, because he had he had took a year off or something.
Yeah, so he took
prepare, but he hasn't really gotten, like, if you watch him lately, he's not up to speed, quite literally. He's got the skill and everything, but he's a little slower on the steps, which is why I think he might have been sitting, because I don't think they have the faith in him to perform in a big moment. But I think that's wrong. I think he would only perform best in a big moment because kind of like spark it in him to do something.
Exactly. And there was talk he was going to start the season in the G League just to give him 30 minutes a game that he wouldn't get here in the NBA. We were talking about this last week on the podcast. The type of center he is, like DeAndre Jordan, Clint Capella, Rudy Gobert, none of them played a lot of minutes their first season in the NBA. So, I mean, but if we're looking at a game-to-game basis and we need to beat the Nets, you got to put him in. You had to put Frank on Karras LeVert. That was the move that Fitzdale should have made. But otherwise, I'm going to tell you, I love him. I think he's perfect for this team. He's got them all playing hard. He's got them all running, which is, I think he's like wearing down teams. And this was the thing I was very interested. We saw the game against Atlanta where we ran all over them. We just destroyed them. Then we go against the Nets and kind of similar. But the Nets were able to keep up. But the Celtics, that's a team that should pretty much dominate us and win by 20 every time. But I think
we've always had that kind of relationship with the Celtics where we go in and we're done. But yeah, I mean, they're young. They're a bunch of young guys there, and they're hard to hold down.
They're all scrappy players. Fitzdale has them playing scrappy. And against a team like a Celtics, they're going to stay. This is what I'm taking away from the first 3 games. Going into the season, I'm like, this is going to be a down year. We're not going to win a lot. It's going to be boring. Well, even if we lose, the games we've lost have been exciting. And they're going to give any team in the league a run for their money just because of the way they're playing, just because of their scrappy play. They're always running. So that's...
If they can stay healthy.
Yeah, that too. One of the things I said last week on the podcast too was that, like, my best case scenario was that they lose every game up until like Porzingis comes back, and then they win every game. But this way they show free agents that, hey, with Porzingis healthy, we're good enough to win, and we still get a top draft pick.
You have that much faith in Porzingis?
Yes, I'm saying this is like best case scenario. This is like my wish list. This is my Christmas wish to Santa. But but now it's kind of like my best case scenario is that we play hard and we stay close in all these games. And even if we lose, who cares? Like, we'll still get a good draft pick. But it's showing free agents and showing guys that, hey, this is the culture Fitzdale has created. Look at the scrubs that we're putting out there and look how close all these games are. And hopefully it shows a Kevin Durant, especially once Porzingis comes back, and if we do start winning more with him coming back, it shows a Kevin Durant or shows a Jimmy Butler or Kyrie that, yeah, we're here to play. I
love a Jimmy Butler for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of mad at Tibbs for breaking down his body, playing him like 40 minutes a game his entire career, but...
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know, but...
At this rate, he's going to retire at like 32 with a broken everything.
I feel like yeah. No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Actually, that will happen.
Here's the other thing about Fitzdale that I don't like, and this doesn't really have anything to do with Fitzdale. It's more of just my preference. Why is Ron Baker playing so much? He is not an NBA player to me.
Really? Well, yeah. No, I see it. I think they're trying to make him a leader.
I guess, but like... He hustles, but I feel like every time he's around the ball, he's either getting scored on or he's missing a shot. I get he plays hard, but man, we could be giving minutes to other people who are just better and are going to play just as hard.
That's a true thing. Yeah, I think they're really trying to cultivate. That's the thing about this team is kind of a learning experience.
Right.
And they have these ideas because we have to think they see things we don't see in the camps or in the locker room. Behind the scenes of basketball, you see certain things come of certain players that we wouldn't see otherwise because we're not privy to it. And I feel like he's just like one of these guys that's like a great leader, but he gets nervous because he's maybe not used to being in that position on such a high level, and he can't produce.
Maybe.
Otherwise, I don't know why they put him in there.
My only rebuttal to that is he was on that Wichita State team that made the Final Four. And that was a big moment in his career, and he was like one of the main guys on Wichita State. He's been in the league for a few years. It's not like the stage is going to change. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. Like, he should be accustomed to playing on a big stage in the Garden. I don't even think it's the Garden. I just think it's the NBA. I always joke around with my friends, like, I feel like if I play Ron Baker one-on-one, it'd be a close game. Like, I know that's not true at all. I know that's not true.
I don't know, man. You got a J. You might. Yeah.
Let's just go by, what were your emotions? If you could take me game by game, we'll start with before the Hawks, and we've been texting back and forth, but what were your thoughts before opening night, and how have they changed?
I was talking to a friend of mine, like, not too long ago. So, as a Knicks fan, you're just kind of accustomed to let down.
Yes.
And
oh, yeah. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. Everyone knows that pain.
This is like pretty much a brand new Knicks era. This is like, it's almost like we're like tabula rasa. We've wiped the slate, and we're going to try to start something new.
Right.
And I think they're even trying to maybe change the culture of a Knicks team from these, not so much a huge mega team, but more reminds me of like the Pistons, where we're going to come together. We're going to be a team that's better working together.
When you say Pistons, do you mean like the 03-04 Pistons, or do you mean like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 03 to like 06 team.
Right.
Where we were just hitting on all cylinders, like not one shining player, but like 5 players as one entity. Right. That's been severely lacking since Melo, Mari, like...
Right.
I think the only time that we hit that kind of deal was maybe back in the 90s, something like that.
Yeah. If you look at the last team that went to the finals, we had Ewing at the end of his career, but also Sprewell, Houston, LJ. It wasn't one guy way better than everyone else than the other.
LJ! He's a cool guy, man. Let me tell you.
Oh, you got stories about LJ. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. Yo, he's so... Okay, so at the viewing parties and stuff, we'd have some of the vets come back and watch with the fans or whatever. And we were doing I forgot the name of the place in New York, but it was a ritzy place, and we had the Knicks dancers out, and they were like taking pictures with fans. And I was just sitting there with LJ, and he was signing autographs, and he just turns to me. And at this point, he didn't know me. We didn't really know each other too much. We just spoken to his representatives about getting in there and stuff. And he just turns to me, and he's like, yo, you know those girls? The Knicks dancers. He's like, you know those girls? Oh, how old are they? That's a beautiful thing, man. They're cool, man. They're ready to go. But he was so cool about it. And then he just turned around and left. And then the next time he saw me, he was like, oh, I didn't know you were setting up this whole thing. Sorry about that. It's all good, dude.
Man.
That was flavor, man. That was clever, brother. He's so smooth, though. Yo, how old is he?